Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Warnock's office for a little bit of math time today. Guys, I want to share something with you. Way back when I was in college, I used to run about 5 miles a day. I'm not joking, really. I used to run like 5 miles a day. Well, I'm a few years older and by the looks of it, quite a few pounds heavier, and I'm starting to realize I need to get back out there and start running again. But here's the problem. I spent so much time up at Barber Bush, I need to find a way to run up here. And I know we got that track out there, but I'm not a fan of running on tracks. I like to get out in the neighborhood. I don't want to go around in a circle over and over again. I want to see something different on my run. So I need help figuring out a path through the neighborhood that's going to give me the mileage that I want. I used to run 5 miles a day, and I might not be able to do that right now, but I want to work back up to that. So I need to figure out a path it's going to be a total of about 5 miles. So I got a little setup over here that I want to show you guys. Help me figure it out.
Pay attention.
Alrighty guys, so here's my little setup here. Now you might think I'm ridiculous, but hey, this is what I do, okay? What I've got here is I've got Google Maps up. You see the red pin up here, that's going to be Barber Bush Middle School. I know I want to start around here, so I'm trying to figure out a path somewhere in the neighborhood that's going to be about 5 miles. So I've played around with it a little bit. I've got some measurements here. I know if I start at MacArthur, start right up here at the corner of MacArthur and Cowboys Parkway, and if I run down MacArthur all the way down here to Ranchview Drive, I think it's Ranchview Drive, I don't know, it's that road right there. I used to work right over there, so I know it's that road right there. I know that that distance right there is 1 3/4 miles. Okay? So that's a good start. If I turn down this road right here, again, I think it's Ranchview, I don't know, Valley Ranch Parkway, it's one of those roads, I know where it is. But I know that that distance right there is 1/2 miles. Okay? So I can stop by and say hi to my buddies at Ranchview. And then I'm going to come up this road right here, come to Cowboys Parkway. I know that that distance is 1 1/8 mile. Okay? Then from Cowboys Parkway, I'm going to stop off, say hi to Tony Romo, say hi to Coach Garrett, see if they'll listen to me. I've got some ideas about the offense for next year. But then I'm going to turn right on Cowboys Parkway, and I'm going to loop around back to Barber Bush so I can come back home. And I know that distance is 1 1/2 miles. Okay? Now the question is, how far is that? How far is that total? Well, help me figure it out, guys. Let me do it. I'm going to put my map up. So now I've got my distances here. I've got 1 3/4 miles. I'm going to add 1/2 miles. Then I've got 1 I wrote that wrong. 1 1/8 mile plus 1 1/2 miles. Okay? So now those are my distances. So what's that total distance? Well, it's been a while since I've done fractions, but I think I remember how. Okay? So I see I've got a 1 here, I've got a 1 here, I've got a 1 here. I know that I can just bring those down, you know, to add that, and add that. So now I'm starting with 3. Okay? Now I'm going to take out these fractions. So I've got 3/4 plus 1/2 plus 1/8 plus 1/2. Now, I know there's something with these denominators. I think they have to be the same. So I'm going to start with 3 to, hang on, I'm going to move this 3 over. Let me move this 3 over. Okay, I'm going to move this 3, make sure, okay, you guys can still see that? Okay. I'm going to start with 3/4 plus 1/2. Okay? The 4 and the 2, I know those can't be different. For me to add these fractions, those have to be the same. Well, I know they have to be the least common denominator. Because I'm a mathematical genius, okay, I know that 2 goes into 4 2 times. So if I multiply this by 2, because 2 times 2 is going to be 4, I have to multiply that by 2, because I know 1/2 then equals 2/4. Okay, are you with me so far? You see 1/2, 2/4, those are the same. Those are equal. But now I can take out this 1/2, put in 2/4. Now I've got common denominators here. So 3/4 plus 2/4 is going to equal, help me out, 3 plus 2, come on, give it to me, 5/4. Now hold up. I know that that is greater than 1 because the number up top cannot be more than the number on the bottom. So now I have to figure out, okay, 5/4 equals 1 and 1/4. Okay, because that's 1 and 1/4. All right, so now I've got to take this 1. I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to add it to this 3. So now I've got 4 whole numbers. So now I'm at 4, and then 1/4. So now I'm at 4 and 1/4. So I'm taking care of that fraction. I'm taking care of that fraction. Now I've got 1/8 plus 1/2. 1/8 plus 1/2. Okay? Same thing I did before. I got to get these numbers on the bottom the same. I know 2 goes into 8 4 times. So now 1/2, if I multiply that by 4 and that by 4, I know that's going to be 4/8. Okay. So now I'm not adding 1/8 plus 1/2. I'm adding 1/8 plus 4/8. Okay, let's erase that. Now I've got, which equals 1/8 plus 4/8 equals 5/8. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. I didn't have any whole numbers there to add over to my 4 over here, but okay. Now I've got to do 4 and 1/4 plus 5/8. Okay, so let's take these fractions here. I've got 1/4 plus 5/8. Once again, the denominators are not the same. They're killing me here, people. But I've got to get these equal. So I know 4 goes into 8 2 times, so I'm going to multiply that by 2 and that by 2. So now I've got 2/8. 2/8, which is a lot easier to add. 2/8 plus 5/8, that's going to equal 7/8. Check that out. Almost a whole. Not quite, but almost. So now, instead of 4 1/4, now I've got 4 7/8. So now 1 3/4 plus 1/2 plus 1 1/8 plus 1 1/2 equals 4 7/8, which is almost 5. And I want to run 5 miles every day. I'll have to work up to that. I can't do it right off the bat. I'll have to work up to it. But I know that path that I created going all the way down to Ranch View, that's going to be a nice little path for me to run because adding up all these unlike fractions, I know that I have 4 7/8. All right, guys, we solved that problem. I've got my path. Look for me to start losing some weight here, okay? Now, that's math in a little bit of the real world. Let's check out a math tax problem, okay? It's going to be similar. Let's go.
Pay attention.
Alrighty guys, here's my math tax problem that's similar to the one that we just worked out. I don't know if you can read this or not, so I'm going to start off with you. Here's the question. When Marco's dog got loose, it ran 1/3 mile on Pine Street, 1 1/2 miles on Oak Street, and 2 5/6 miles on Hickory Street. Which procedure can Marco use to find the total distance in miles that his dog ran? Well, looking at that problem, I know I don't necessarily have to add up these distances, which his dog isn't going to run as far as I am. We can see that. But we have to figure out what is the procedure that we just went through to add the unlike denominators, okay? So let's start with the first one. I see multiply the sum of whole numbers by the sum of the fractions using a common denominator when necessary. Well, what's the first word in that answer? Multiply. Are we going to have to multiply anything here? No, we have to kind of add up these numbers. So I know it can't be F. Well, let's look at G. Find the difference between the sum of the whole numbers and the sum of the fractions using a common denominator when necessary. All right, I'm seeing sum, but I also see that it starts with find the difference. Well, find the difference is subtraction, so I'm not thinking that's going to be it. But because there's sum in it, I might come back to that one, okay? H, I see add the sum of the whole numbers and the sum of the fractions using a common denominator when necessary. Now, if I'm thinking back to the problem that I just worked out with my 5 miles of running, I know that's what we did. We added up the sum of the whole numbers and the sum of the fractions, and we had to find the common denominator. I'm feeling pretty good about H, but I'm going to come back to it just in case. Let me take a look at J. Divide the sum of the whole numbers by the sum of the fractions using a common denominator when necessary. What do we start with there? Divide, please. We know we're not going to divide anything, so there's no way it's H. Excuse me, there's no way it's J. When we come back to H, add the sum of the whole numbers, the sum of the fractions using a common denominator when necessary. But bam, I know that is the right answer. That's the one I'm going with. H, on to the next problem, because I know that's what we need to do. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for Math Time in Mr. Warnock's office. I appreciate you guys coming by. Good luck.